edge of a whisper. Our voices trapped deep and so low, but the words now rise like the oceans and the sadness that only we know. Woman, adult, human, female, not hard to define, but they twist and turn, they blur the line. Women's dignity discarded, our rage begins to build a tidal wave they can't conceive. Let women speak, let the truth ring clear. We've been shouting, but they refuse to hear. Breaking the
Hi, good afternoon. How the devil are you? I just thought I'd reflect on Bridget Phillipson. I always think, is that really her name? Because it's so dull, but it is. And not to be confused with Rachel from Accounts. I'm sure they're all terrible things and you shouldn't say them. Some might even say they're sexist. And to those people, I would say, I simply don't care at all, really. Like massively don't care. Whether or not it's sexist, because actually, at the very least, that we can all do is be quite sexist to these painful women. I mean, we just should be disparaging. There's many things that I'm sure we could do that would break some sort of law when it comes to those unbearable women. So anyway, so Bridget Phillipson, Jennifer Millay, who was the nurse who was called the N-word by a paedophile after he overheard her saying he. Jennifer Millay met with Bridget Phillipson yesterday, and basically Bridget Phillipson then said it didn't apply to workplaces, like the new guidance that they're writing, and I'm really curious specifically what the government are doing, what the written guidance is, and I'm assuming it's single-sex spaces. However, the Supreme Court, when it ruled what it ruled, which was, how do I put this? If men were allowed in women's spaces, in any way, shape, or form, everybody already knew that that wasn't lawful. And what happened is a bunch of trans activist types, what they did is they stop it. What they did is they misinformed workplaces, right? So they interpreted the Equality Act in a certain way with a crossover of gender reassignment bullshit that is a vague term on purpose so they could lie to you. And so employers have been breaking the law for quite some time. If there's a great big bloke, like for example in British Telecom. So British Telecom allows great big blokes to go in their women's toilets, and according to 5 different people that have written to me now, if women complain at all, they're told to go somewhere else. So anyway, so I was thinking, when do people use the Equality Act? Because if I go into a toilet in a restaurant and they let men in there, then I probably will complain. I probably won't go back to that restaurant. I would complain, I'd make a fuss, but I'm not going to sue them and use the Equality Act. I'm not, it's very unlikely that I'm going to waste my time doing that. I mean, we did get refused service in Glasgow. It's dealing with lawyers and trying to get justice is really, really painful. So employment tribunals often, so I think about 50% of the time in an employment tribunal, because, well, it's different now, but because what it used to be is if you were a genuine case in an employment tribunal, you would find it really, really difficult to actually get your case heard at all. Now we're in a situation where if you're a painful victim, pain in the ass, liar, lazy, whatever, you can go to a tribunal. It doesn't cost you anything. You can go to a tribunal and they will be on your side. And what you will often do is you will use part of the Equality Act because that's the easiest way to get a win, right? You just use one of those protected characteristics. So that's when most people use the Equality Act. Now, obviously, there are other reasons that people go to employment tribunals besides pretending that they've been a victim of whatever the protected characteristic might be. There will be serial litigants. There will just be like proper liars who just make stuff up to try and extract money from people. There's many, many reasons that people do these things. But if you can tick a little bit of a box, then what you can do is you can guarantee often that you win. And in fact, if you're just a massive victim right now in employment tribunals, because the government seem to have such a bad um, relationship with employers, then like it's almost like workers have got too many rights in one respect, and then others they've got none. It's the same as everything else. It's shit. Um, oh, thank you. Someone said great outfit. So anyway, before I go on and on about employment tribunals and why I think they're ridiculous, and actually they're too easy for somebody to take someone to an employment tribunal these days, and they don't even have to stick to all the rules. And then all they have to do is they have to say, "Oh, protected characteristic," and they win. So crazy. Anyway, so if the government is on the basis of what happened in the Supreme Court, deciding that it is gonna write different guidance, what are they writing about? Like, seriously, what is it that it's gonna cover? Um, and if Jennifer was asking in the sort of if Jennifer was asking about what's gonna happen to the NHS, which is the UK's largest employer, for Bridget Phillipson to then say that doesn't apply, what that tells me is that they know it's gonna be very, very sticky to get these perverts out of the NHS. And the way Jennifer was treated, and the Darlington nurses, and Sandy Peggy, it's really interesting that um, I could complain. In fact, this is what we can all do. After this, I'm gonna set up a little thing where you can, if you work in the NHS and you want to report someone, so that we can report them to the Nurses Medical Council. Now, I'm going to say if you work in the NHS in any capacity whatsoever, or you've recently been to hospital and you have seen somebody lying about their sex who works there, then you can anonymously let women speak now, and I will uh, then send a complaint to the NMC about not feeling safe in the NHS. And I think you can do that anonymously as well, but I think we've all got to start doing that. If the government are not going to step in and protect women, so we know that the pervy doctor and the pervy nurse involved in the two cases, Sandy Peggy case and the Darlington nurses, they are still working in the NHS in their fetish gear. They're still in the NHS in their fetish gear. So that doesn't make me feel safe. I would feel really unsafe if my daughter had to have a procedure on Monday. And actually we have private healthcare, so she went private, but because I refuse to use the NHS, as if I can avoid it, I won't use it. So if I'd gone in there and there was any sniff of an individual who was lying about their biological sex, who's pretending to be a woman when they were a man, or pretending to be a man when they were a woman, or pretending to be non-binary or whatever, I would not have felt that my daughter would be safe. And neither should you. You should know. You should not go into hospital feeling unwell and feeling like you can't express how you feel, that you can't say no to somebody just in case everybody is mean. So I think it's about time that we had a mechanism so that we can publish the healthcare trust, ward, where these people are. And I'll take legal advice on whether or not we can name these people, because I think we should. I think if they're lying about who they are in a position where we, the the taxpayer, are paying for them, but I will take legal advice on that, um, because I don't want to get in trouble for harassment. But I do actually think then that we can start reporting these people to the NMC, and I think we should do that. Uh, who is it? Nurses and Midwifery Council, yeah. So to the NMC, and then for the doctors to the GMC. And I think we say that they are bringing the NHS into disrepute, and they are making us feel like it is not a safe place for women. So I think we're just going to have to start being the squeaky wheel. I look. How do trans activists manage to convince everybody that they are a vulnerable section of society? Well, they just went on and on and on and on and on. They set up different things, and they had meetings, and before we knew that they were an enemy, they set themselves up as a victim. So that's that's how that's how they did it. We just got to do it back the other way. Um, and I just think we don't do it because we can't be asked. There's an apathy. And I just want to say to all you women out there, especially women that are dealing with the fallout of yet another scandal in another supposed women's rights group, which I have nothing good to say about the leadership. But let women speak. Like, I personally think if you want to just go and do something, just do it. Don't wait to join something. Most of the women that join something don't want to do anything. They just want to join something. So if you want to join Let Women Speak and you want to do something with our backing, then I would love to have you on board. I think it's a great community. We do vet people, so there is a little bit of safety. So if you want to go and do something, you don't want to do it on your own, you want to do it with other people, and you don't have any friends that you can share this sort of thing with, then get in touch with Let Women Speak locals, and we will work very quickly to try and get you verified. But otherwise, just do it yourself. Just do it yourself. You don't need weekly, like, you don't need WhatsApp chat groups to do something. Just do it. But if you want to join Let Women Speak, and we are the brand that's globally recognized, and we've been going on the longest, and we've done everything above board. And I sell t-shirts and merch, so I can do things, and then I get to spend the money however I damn well please. And you can become a member and or donate, whatever you want to do. But that's how we operate. But you don't need permission. You don't need to be told what to do. You don't need permission. You just need to get off your ass and actually just do it. That's all you have to do. If you want to change what's going on, you have to just get off your ass and do something about it. That's it. It's really irritating when women behave like children and have to be told, like, paint by numbers, exactly how to do something. Just fucking do it. Go to your local council meetings. Find out what the fuck is going on where you live. Go and have a look in your local library. See what books they're letting out to children. And if you don't like them, we have a sticker for that. We have not safe for kids, removable stickers for books. Just do it. It's just really important that you just pull your finger out and just do it. But when it comes to the NHS, I think if women care enough, not to don't just tune in and retweet. Giving to court cases, great. But what you actually need to do is you need to be the squeaky wheel. So you need to write to your NHS trust. You need to report these men to the NMC. Any bloke in a fucking dress in a school, you need to complain to Ofsted about safeguarding. You need to write to the head teacher and the governors and ask them about safeguarding and ask them about the rights of children that don't want to go along with that man's delusion. But you have to do it. It's no good saying, oh, there's a guy, I don't want to make any trouble. Make some trouble. Very, very liberating. So make some trouble, report these nurses and doctors to the NMC and the GMC. It's very, very easy. You can just go online and do it. But you have to do it. You just have to do it. And then what we'll be doing, if you can, if you have any, I'll put it on a contact sheet on my website. If you have any information about nurses working who are men pretending to be women, if you know of any incidents when they're waiting to go in as a chaperone, you can send that to me anonymously. And then myself or one of the good volunteers at Let Women Speak will submit a complaint to the NMC. That's the only way that's gonna get it done. The government couldn't give a shit about you. They don't care. There's a bit of me that thinks the Supreme Court was just a ruling so we'd all shut up and go away and move on, and many people have. Many people have. I don't want fetishists in the workplace, and goodness knows why. They are allowing these men to be in the NHS, in the police force. You know, these men have unfettered access to women and to our bodies. Like to if there are nurse managers, do you think if there's a woman on a ward who's paralyzed, do you think they'd stop a bloke in a dress from going round and being her nurse and giving her a bed bath? Do you? When you go under general anesthetic, there has to be a female in the room. Do we know that it's a female these days? No, we don't. We don't know. Because there have been cases of women asking for chaperones and the person that has turned up is a man. And it's happened more than once. Breaking. Bridget is allowing social transitioning at school. There's something up with Bridget. There's something weird about her. I don't know whether her husband is a cross-dresser or whether she's got a nephew or a niece or something, or someone working in her team who've manipulated a child into thinking they're the opposite sex. But there is something deeply, deeply sinister about that woman. Yeah, so I think we're going to have to do this our way. And that is being a royal pain in the arse and not caring whether or not people like you. So you have to be deeply concerned about what's going on, but it's got to be you. If not you, then who? If not now, then when? When are you going to do something? What else needs to happen? Look, we've got a pincer movement here. We've got Islam on one side and we've got this shit transgenderism on the other. And none of them end well for women. None. None. There is a police officer in the Met with 2 warrant cards. One is a man, one is a woman. I've got a friend who works at Thames Valley, and there's a person there who has to be asked their pronouns on a daily basis. These people deal with rape and murder and human trafficking. So anyway, we've got Islam, transgenderism. They're very, very similar. A lot of men in dresses. A lot of homophobia. A lot of hating women. The whole lot. So let me just tell you again. You are going to think about your local NHS and whether or not there are any men working there who pretend to be women. Then if you know them by name, that's great. If you just know the ward they're on, that's super. You can just do that. Their names would be better. And then what you can do is you can either complain yourself. Maybe not if you work there. If you work there, you can send that to me and we will get someone to complain. There is a part of there is a part of, let me just see, complaining about nurses, about bringing the NHS into disrepute. I can't remember. Yeah, you can whistleblow as well, but I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't trust them. But definitely you can let us know here and we will complain because I'm just pig sick of this. They're going to do the puberty blocker trial. It's going to be a great success because it's only 2 years, so there's not going to be anything adverse in those 2 years, and then they're just going to roll it back out. So, I mean, people are making a fuss, trying to. It's not going to stop. It's going to carry on. It's going to. Well, hello. I can't do Ronnie Corbett. Anyway, if you can speak about this stuff, the scary stuff that you shouldn't speak about, and not just speak, but do something about it, then I promise we will win. If you can start thinking, how did the trans activists do it? They were pains in the arse. How are we going to do it? Exactly the same. Then I promise we will win. And do you know why else we're going to win? Well, because I never lose.
Her body tells stories no words can replace. She left herself in a quiet, cold place. Years ago, when the world wouldn't bend, she wore a new name, tried to pretend. But the mirror won't lie, it whispers her name. It tells her so harshly she's a woman again. She's not a fad, not a phase, not a girl. She's a storm in the night, contorting herself, trying to stand where her father once stood. She's trying to escape, she's flesh, she's blood. The world won't protect her. They call her a thief. Her own body stolen, no sense of relief. The cuts are so deep, the bruises won't heal. She binds herself tightly so she doesn't feel. Who decides what we keep, what we lose? Who we are, can we choose? Forever chasing, never reaching the end. No peace in the cutting, the pain is no friend. She's not a fad, not a phase, not a girl. She's a storm in the night, contorting herself, trying to stand where her father once stood. She cannot escape, she's flesh, she's blood. She hates what she's given, what she can't control. The curve of her breasts, the ache in her soul. She curses the mirror and all that she knew, crushing the truth's blood that bleeds through. No escape, no disguise, she simply can't feel. Flesh tells the story of a girl that won't heal. Scars on her body, dents in her soul, her broken voice just to feel whole. She's not a fad, not a phase, not a girl. She's a storm in the night, herself trying to stand where her father once stood. She can't escape, she's flesh, she's blood. She's not a fad, not a phase, not a girl. She's a storm in the night, contorting herself, trying to stand where her father once stood. She can't escape, she's flesh, she's blood, she's blood, she's flesh, she's blood, she's flesh, she's flesh, she's flesh, she's flesh.